Good Thursday, everybody. If you're wondering what day it is Thursday, April 2nd, the year 2020. Yesterday, we discovered this whole thing was not an April Fool's joke, so we're still navigating this whole thing. Something Heather and I have been talking about, and it kind of got me thinking about what I could share with you guys today was this idea of just kind of maintaining order and structure, even in the midst of all that's happening. And throughout Scripture, we see the necessity and the impact and the importance of order. 1 Corinthians 14 talked about the importance of order in worship. Paul wrote to Timothy regularly in his two letters about the importance of leadership structure, the importance of character in leadership, and the importance of having an order to the kind of person and the nature of how leadership should be. Paul wrote to the early church about family structure, church order, and how it was beneficial to the believer in various ways. And so, so that idea, you kind of go, why does it matter now? And it's the idea that, a lot of us are kind of seeing our days run together, and most of us, our lives are just out of order. Everything that you had some sense of structure to has been disrupted, and you're kind of trying to find what I've been calling a new, temporary new normal. And so at some point, we're going to be back to the way things were in some ways, and certain things may change forever. But, in the midst of all this, they're just trying to find some order because we know that order is good for us. I think many of us are realizing the importance of structure and how valuable it actually plays into things. And so, lives have been upended, things are on hold, and for many of us, things are just different. I've said it, and I've heard friends say that they feel like everything's a blur and everything's running together, and it just seems like they're trying to find some sense of structure. And usually we have our places of work, our places of study, our places of education, our places of play, our home. And all of these things have clearly defined spaces and places, and also they have set times. So you go to work 9 to 5. You go to school 8 to 3. You have dinner at 6. You watch your TV shows with the family in the evening. You get up this morning and you shower, and you get up. You do all these things, and you always just had a routine, a structure, and an order, and it helped move things forward. And so now it's just all smashed together. And so I saw one friend, he actually posted that he felt like he was living in Groundhog Day. If you've never seen Groundhog Day, the movie, I recommend it. It's funny and probably feels rather fitting in light of everything. You might feel like you're in the middle of Groundhog Day. And so how do we maintain some sanity? How do we maintain some order? How do we maintain a temporary new normal? How do we get through this? And just what are some practical things? Proverbs 21:5 said, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." And so we can kind of maybe to modify the idea of what the verse is saying here to our context is planning will help us get things accomplished. Lack of planning won't. And, to be honest, I've talked about before, like things at rest will stay at rest, things in motion will stay in motion. And, we had, when we kind of got into this, Heather and I, we can get all these things done. And then, 2 weeks into it, we're like, we didn't get any of these things done. And I think there's just the necessity to planning. And while in this case, the plans and diligence won't necessarily lead to abundance or poverty or lack of poverty in the sense of maybe what the verse is talking about, it will lead to getting things accomplished, moving things forward, helping us to continue to stay on task in terms of life responsibilities, and also in some ways keeping our sanity. And so instead of just kind of letting the day rule itself and we're just trying to figure everything out each moment, and the hastiness things in the moment, we start beginning to plan out like, what is our new normal going to look like? And so what can you do? Here's some ideas that Heather and I were thinking about is, first off, is just set some goals. What can I do to accomplish this week? What's something in my house that I haven't cleaned in forever that I want to clean? What's a project that we've been wanting to work on that we haven't worked on? What is something that we need to get done? What's something fun we can do? Even plan out, today we're going to, binge watch a show. Like, not that you should do that constantly, but just where are you setting some goals? Plan out your day. Still create a time schedule. And maybe you have different places for different things. So like I work at my kitchen table and I watch my TV shows at the couch, and I play with my kids in this room. And, every day at this time we're going for a drive. Heather and I, we pretty much keep the TV off most mornings. and throughout most of the day. Um, and that's partly because we're trying to intentionally keep it off. Because for me, if the TV's on, I want to watch it, and so by not keeping it on, it keeps me from being pulled into it. We have planned walks around our neighborhood. We went for a walk this morning. We took our dogs out. It's a beautiful day outside today, so we went. We usually would go. We still try to do our evening things in the evening. We still try to do like our daytime things in the day. So it's just keeping a sense of order and structure, and so we're just not kind of getting lost in it all. We find a reason to get out and still keep our distance. So we go for a drive. I'll regularly check on the church, and it's just you kind of plan ahead. Luke 14:28 said, "For which of you desiring to build a tower doesn't first sit down and count the costs?" And you plan it out, for what he wants to complete. And so you think about, what is it you want to complete? Where do you sit down and count the cost? What do you plan it out? What do you think ahead that in this new season you do different? One thing we're doing is we're keeping our days off. And so we still try to work to keep our Saturdays off. So we do our work, Monday through Friday. We have our church on Sunday. We try to keep some continuity from the life before the virus and now during the virus that we obviously will continue afterwards. And that just kind of helps keep some continuity and some sanity. Heather and I, we made the decision to protect that one day, and so we really try hard to do nothing work related. Now, obviously, none of this is ever perfect, but again, it helps you to keep moving forward in the midst of disruption. Two things that we also encourage you: continue to find ways to serve in however you can, whether it's working on a project at home for somebody. If you can get out and you feel safe to get out, you go and you help somebody that needs help. And I think lastly, just do your best to not be on social media all the time, except to maybe check, our daily Devos. And, also just, especially if you're worried or you're worked up or you have anxiety, again, I still see people that, they want to get into arguments, they read into a lot of things. The reason we do that is because we're taking in all this information that we don't know how to handle, and it just takes us to our worst places. And so I think, and also to keep all the sanity and order, just stay off social media. Check it when you need to, and even schedule time for that. And so I would just encourage you guys, do what you can to just kind of keep a level head, keep some order, and keep some structure, and create a new structure. Plan out your day, plan out your time, so that you can continue to move forward. And soon, and very soon, we will be gathering together again as a church, and we'll be back to some normals. And we'll look back and go, man, I wish I'd taken advantage of this time. Let's not have that kind of regret either. And so, you guys, love you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.